All right, folks, we're going to get back into some adventure design. We're doing some maps today. Give me a hot flash here to punch my signal, and then we will dive into this for the next hour or so. See how far we get. Here. Good. Here. I just got to punch Twitter in the face. And then drop some Discord, and then I will fire this pop-up, yo. Hold on here. Burp. There we go. All right, cool. We are good to go. And all right, so we're doing map design work. Right now we are, let's make sure our pen equals black, and blurp, and we get the right font size. Cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're doing some cobblestones. Okay, so let's see. We can see here, overview map, character, top level, playtest, map, assets, floor, top side, lab entrance, lab level, floor, playtest, workbench, got the top side lab entrance, which then, let's see, and we have the show me the thing. Fort. Burp. Beep, 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 beep. All right, so you got this fort that we've been building, and we got point number 2 here, which goes off in to the left, which is northeast when I reconfigure it, which leads to this top side entrance where this is set up, and those are 600 feet apart. So what we want to do is save equals no. What we want to do is set this aside, and so we're going to need a path. Since we're in this we're calling it plague mode. It's when all the vegetation in the ground is being dissolved by the necrotic effects of Mabar. In the manifest zone. So the soldiers have a path that they've that already existed that they're attempting to maintain, so that it's easy travel from the fort to the top side entrance. So we're just going to build some cobblestone pathing today. It's 600 feet, so that's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. So 200 feet across total. I need 3 screens of this, but I don't have to build all 600 feet of it. That is obnoxious. So instead, we're going to, yet again, build some vignettes. So vignette. Let's say it's going to be reasonable to have a 15. Let's say they've got a 20-foot path that they have cleared. And if they want to have, all I need to do is delete. For transform, no. Burp. All right. So that's 200 feet. Let's instead do, let's see, 200, 90, 80, 70, 60, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, cool. 50. So I only need 4 of these. So what you can do is when you're doing long sequences or like long tunnels and stuff, you don't actually have to do every inch of the thing. You can instead, we're going to duplicate. Break it up into pieces. So I'm going to go with 1, 2, and then duplicate layer again. kind of like a random generator, but instead, you know, actually, I have the space on this page. I'm actually I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to create it in a style that's like a random generator. So if you decide it's supposed to be 600 feet, but it's just going to be little cobblestone walkways that we're going to break up into little spaces. That you can basically ad infinitum. 1, 2, 3. We're going to blurp, blurp. Merge them down. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go here and 3 and 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, and what a stinker. Just off. Cool, so 20-foot wide pathways, and we are just going to work the path. So zoom in a bit. You know what? I think I do want to do these as vignettes. I'm going to do. First, we're going to create some shapes in the space. So we're building maps every day. You can check in the playlist below. We got a lot going on. I stream damn near every day at this point in the mornings, as well as often in the evenings. Mornings is more map work, and if we get to it, we'll be doing some text writing for this map space that we're creating. In addition, in the evening, we do design work, mostly MTG, 5-color mana spell point, variant rule mechanics, but I've also been doing subclass design lately. We've been working on a spell point sorcerer. I've also just about got the mass combat system built, so I will probably be building assets for that here in the near future. In addition, I'll be walking through the right now very rough mechanics for the martial powers book that I've been working on, using mana mechanics for martial characters. So we got a lot on our plate this year, and with God's grace, we're going to get it all done. But that's okay. I don't have to have everything done until 2024. So we'll see what we can get done. Yeah, we're hoping to be able to get it all done. So there's a lot on my plate. It's a little ridiculous, but the ideas keep coming, and the inspiration is there, and the mechanics are available to be developed. So I'm having fun, and like, subscribe, check the book link that I have down in the description here for you to get a free preview of everything that I've been doing mana related. Everything that I publish is 100% preview. So if you like the cut of the jib, you can read the whole thing first to decide that you want to support me. All the artwork is mine. All the design work is either straight me, or sometimes I hire people to help me out with different mechanical ideas. So there's a lot going on. It's a lot for you to take a look at, see if you like it in your campaign or not. If you do, grab it, and otherwise just subscribe. Check out my Twitter so you can see when I'm jumping in the feeds, and stick around, ask me questions, bloody blah. Break that into smaller pieces here. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about Spell Point Sorcerers. More so because I'm using a landscape. This will be the first book that I've built using a landscape format instead of portrait style. So it'll be more vertical than horizontal. And I have 3.2 inch columns, so 3 columns with a 0.2 inch gap in between each column, and then a 0.25 inch margin top bottom. So there's a lot of design space, and I want to thank Ted at Nerd Immersion for having showcased Farfell on DMsGuild in his most recent DMsGuild walkthrough, because Farfell did a great job in demonstrating how I hope my adventures and books to look. Smash job. And so I am that same format of hyperlinking throughout the document, building timelines that you can click through on to get to different acts and points in the adventure, as a navigating bar at the bottom of the page. With a 3-column format, you can drop pictures literally anywhere on the page and filter in text around it sensibly, so it looks really good. And it allows for a lot of open space, so I can have a more relaxed design space than. I think my documents have been a little bit more cramped than I want them to be, and so I was looking for something that I could create a little bit more breadth and a little more empty, like negative space, to help the eye relax a little bit more as it moves through the text. And I think this is going to be a winning format. So I'll be sharing as soon as I get. I should be finalizing the first draft of the mass combat system in command here in the next day or so, which probably means that I'll be doing example illustrations. Those I'm just going to grab assets off the DMsGuild. Like if I'm referencing, like, you got 25 ogres in your squad and you want to go attack a red dragon with them, then it's just easy for me just to grab the tokens from the DMsGuild, since those are going to be the creature tokens that you are literally already familiar with from the monster manual. So for visual language, for demonstration purposes, that'll be those are free assets for me to use, and I can just build tokens out of those to put into the book. But that book is going to be chock full of mass combat illustrations, and I'm trying to still figure out what the best way is going to be to actually depict those illustrations. That's going to be a 100-page book when it's done. I mean, the mass combat system, squad combat's only going to be about maybe 40, and then scaling up the warfare is probably going to be another 25 pages or so, because they use the same mechanics, and then it goes into guilds and kingdoms, developing a guild, how to create and run your own guild, then how to create and run your own kingdom on top of that. So there's a lot of moving pieces, but it all uses the same command mechanics. It's just applied in different ways. So you have this ubiquitous system that allows you to do anything involving NPCs on a standardized system of process. So it's working. It's working. Now it's just a matter of do other people like it or not. So hopefully Josh over at Dungeoneers Pack is going to have a chance to take a look at it, and if he likes how it resonates, he'll be able to add it to his Avernus campaign. But if not, then we go back to the drawing board and see what we need to fix to make it more user friendly. But it's pretty straightforward. Once you understand the terminology that's involved with it and understand the scaling mechanics, it's pretty easy to use. So high hopes here. Fingers crossed for me, guys. Here, that looks pretty good. Gaps. Bum, bum, bum. So once we get done filling in, you know, breaking up these boxes into something a little bit more chaotic like I am here, we can then start texturing and breaking up the shapes a little bit more. This is just forming the blocks so we know what the space looks like. That'll be phase 1, and then phase 2 will be texturing it, like shaping the pieces, and then from there, I guess texturing isn't the right word. Shaping the stones is the proper word, and then from there, then texture and environmental stuff. Can you tell I'm getting bored? Can you tell I'm getting bored of drawing boxes? Because they're getting sloppier. So obvious when Phil gets bored because his work turns to slop. Nice work, Kearney. Real nice friggin' work. Inspire the masses, kid. God, I'm leaning in hard. I must be tired. Coffee time, yo. My gal got me this mug. It says you're on mute, so that every time I take a drink, I can check my microphone to make sure I'm not accidentally muted. And I've got a little sound bar up here in the upper right-hand corner that you can't see. That's not being shown on my Discord, but it's got a little wibble thing that's showing me that my sound can be heard. So whenever I take coffee, it reminds me to make sure I'm not muted, that I haven't screwed something up along the way. I haven't been just shouting into a silent void as I do. All right, cool. So we got shapes here. We got shapes. So that's the rough cobblestone appearance of the thing. So let's go in here and start breaking stuff down a little bit more. think the right thing to do is to rough up the general outline first, so we can see how the borders of the plague moat are in. So it's raining constantly here. All the vegetation is turning to goop because of the mustard gas effect of the plague wind, which is an expulsion from the Mabar manifest zone that the characters are tasked with going in and shutting down. So the longer this stuff lasts, the more it rots out the existing vegetation in the area, and the more the Plane of Mabar replaces the vegetation with its own special flora, which creates this crystalline substance, which then turns into these things called crystals of Mabar, which is kind of like a kyber crystals. It's they can be used for as like they can replace diamond dust and other things for anything that's a ritual. Like if you want to speak with dead, you can sprinkle this stuff on people's eyes instead of putting stones on their, like onyx stones. You can sprinkle these crystals on the eyes, and that'll allow you to speak with the dead if you know the spell. You can zoom in a little bit more, and I think I need to go in and edit and. Grid, I need to change the grid depth. Custom, we want to go with RGB equals you and me. Go 120 120 120. Yeah, that already feels better. Ugh, a little bit too dark. All right, Kearney, what are you doing? Let's go preferences, guides and grids, color, custom. Let's go with 210 210 210. Let's do that. Much better. That'll make it easier on my eyes. Where were we at? Here. So this necrotic effect of the plague moat, it just rots out all the vegetation, and it's saturated to the point where the ground, all the tarmac and the topsoil, is also starting to dissolve. And when the soil turns, it starts producing these crystals. So they want to actively harvest the ground and like take all the soil. But the more they take away the soil, the more the water and the rotted vegetation doesn't have anything absorbing it, so it becomes more and more swampy. So the location that this is taking place in used to be a research lab campus, sorry. And so there were all these different a fort and a cemetery and a lab and like gazebos and different things that they buried that are all throughout this environment, and all that stuff is becoming exposed with all the plant life rotting away. It's been 400 years of forest growth over this stuff. So, and it was a forest that loggers would work. So occasionally they would find weird architecture and stuff poking out of it, but they're like, we just don't want to mess with that stuff. We just want the trees. So they grab the trees and they bug out. But now all the trees are dissolving, and it's leaving all the swampy, necrotic mess left over. And so you can start seeing where things were buried, starting to poke up out of the ground, because the stone is slowly weathering in the acidic effects of this stuff. But it's stone, so it's slow to dissolve. But the ground is so soupy that the stonework that's being revealed doesn't have any sort of real support underneath it anymore, so it just starts sinking into the mess. So we want to get back on task with depicting this stuff. Sinking into the goop. So we are creating odd surface ends on the outlying edges of the path to help illustrate the invasive effect of the swamp environment seeping into the stonework that these guys, the mercenaries that are stationed here to keep the loggers out and to keep the undead in. The pathways that they use to move between different different encampments is eroding, and so this is a demonstration of that erosion. Copy time. God, I'm looking forward to that mask. All these books I'm working on, I cannot wait for any of them. I have so many books. I can only push so many so far. I've really tried to minimize the amount of work on my plate, but as is the case with indie designers, there's like a million ideas and only 40 years of life in us to. Well, I'm like 45, so it's like I don't know how long I'm going to actually have to get everything built before I'm dead. So all I can try to do is just sprint to make my meaningless mark on reality by saying I made book. It's just so I recognize I recognize the futility of it, but by God, it's what the muse drives me to do. I got to do what she wants. So I race to oblivion, leaving as many pieces of art and ideas behind me in my wake as I can before I'm done. I keep getting sucked into the interior of this thing. All I really need to do right now is get the outline edges done. It's my brain keeps firing and pulling me in different directions for where this piece wants to go. But ain't that just an analogy for product design in general? I'm hoping to get good at this technique so I can start doing Kickstarters like this, like launch a Kickstarter and like build the book, you know, so like it's done. I can guarantee you it'll get made, and then do a Kickstarter to support the time needed to do artwork, and then just stream the entire process. So that seems to be how I'm evolving in my creative space. Is that I write a book, and then I start once I know it's a concept I want to work with, I start streaming it. I can stream the details, not bore you too much with the grind, but show you some of the grind like this, so you can see how the sausage gets made. But then get the thing made, kick it out to edits. Once it comes back from edits, then do page layout with you. And once the layout is done, then you'll see how I go about building page spaces, so that I can go and I can paint the illustration and then drop the illustration into the document, and then merge it all down into a PDF, and then string the hyperlinks inside of the documents, so that you can navigate around the space, and then publish. So that's the brain space process that goes through from ideation to completion. And I'm hoping, since I've only been streaming on YouTube since November, I think. So please do jump on board and come along and help me build some momentum here, because I want to get to a point where I've got chat kicking on the side and people talking with me about design decisions and the process that goes through it, and just talking shop. Mainly just to keep me company, because it's pretty boring and lonely to shout into the void like this. But the work's got to get done. I originally started streaming on Twitch when I was building the 5-color mana rules, similar to this, and then I realized that Twitch deletes all my stuff, so that's inconvenient. But I found that I wanted to stream just to make sure I was putting in the time, getting the work done. And sometimes, and a lot of times, it's just, if I go on stream, I can guarantee I'll push the pixels. The work will get done, and I can keep moving forward. And especially if a project is intimidating me, like if I get lost in it, or I just get depressed with how the scope of these things. Time are we looking at? 7:20. Cool. Break up these shapes a little bit so they look more like they belong with each other. I'm hoping to have another playtest for this in the next couple weeks. What date is this? I am hoping for the 20th. I'm looking to do another playtest for this adventure on the 20th. Maybe the 22nd, the 20th and 22nd. Create these little divots and potholes, and it's raining, so there's all this water that's coming through, so you can create all these little pock marks that are filling up with this basically battery acid. So you have some acid soup. Enjoy. You can build all sorts of fun shapes inside of here. Don't want it too jagged, but I also don't want it smooth. You know, like it has to have like this chewed on texture to the line work, so it properly reads. These little check marks I'm doing here, I mean, they're obviously lining up with the grid space, and that's intentional because I use VTT, I use Roll20. So if you're making maps, putting little markers on here so it makes it easier for people to line up your map work inside of the VTT space. Because I'm not building this for Roll20. I'm just going to provide all these as image assets that you can import in. You know, you can manually just drag them into your tabletop. Once this goes on DMsGuild, I can't publish it on Roll20. So, like, if I get into Kickstarters in the future, I don't know if I'm going to, because everything I want to do is either Ravnica Theros or Eberron. So I mean, where else am I going to publish those? They have to be on DMsGuild. So like Roll20 is kind of pointless. But what I am excited about is the new president for Wizards of the Coast potentially building their own WotC VTT, and if they build it right, if they build it good, then that probably means, fingers crossed, that DMsGuild stuff will be able to load into their VTT, so it'll be a self-contained environment. And if they lean into the creators that are building out all this content, just being able to move them into the VTT is just obvious to me as a good move. They can have a self-contained environment where they can sell the books, which everyone's going to hate buying again, but if it's for a VTT that's going to have ongoing support, that when you buy the digital book, it automatically imports into the VTT and is better. Like D&D Beyond it's nice to have the books there, but their reference system sucks. It is like, if you type in sorcerer, it's like Kobold Sorcerer comes before sorcerer. It's like, no dude, it's like have a weighted hierarchy, so like you can frickin' find stuff. If I'm using a keyword that's related to the mechanics, then have the mechanics first, and then start feeding in monsters that use those mechanics like third. It's like, figure it out. and I'd like to think that WotC taking it into their own environment will be able to actually have a better read on that than frickin' D&D Beyond does. It's a little embarrassing. But you know, I mean, that's one of my hopes, is that if they're going to hire in all these online dev people that are good at integrating systems to being on an online space, then just really do it. Like, actually get the thing done. Because I would love to have, man, it would be amazing to have DMsGuild stuff and then just have it load into the WotC VTT. That's looking pretty good. I think that's a little too consistent there. Like, too much repetition. Where are we at in time? 7:30. Okay, we're doing good. Not bad. Not bad. All right, cool. So we are just about done with this piece, and then I want to go in and muck on some writing for a bit. So give me a moment here to finish that. God, that looks really good. I'm really, 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 really pleased with how this is coming along. The tummy says, "Rawr." Nice. Cool. Okay, so that's one. Wait. There. Yep, so you'd walk along this path, and I'll end up doing like soupy effects like this along the way. Like drop little patches of ivy, like ferric ivy and yellow caps and patches of florets. But yeah, this is just like a chunk of rock that you can just drop in, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have these 4 pieces that you can just switch up how they're in there, or you can you can overlap them and drop them together. Since they're just bland surfaces, you can create just spontaneous little patches of rock, or like little little environments that you can just drop in for people to run around on. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on. I'm going to save that and scoot that out of the way. I've still got maybe 20 minutes left on me, so I am going to see what we can do to get this thing to do. Okay, cool. So let's see, where are we at? We're just going to do some writing. So path to the topside entrance is probably 600 feet. This is what we were just working on. This path to the topside entrance for path 2. Guards. Let's see. Fort 3, Mope and Swampy Bog. So we got this map that we're working on here. Here's the rough line of it. You got the encampment, and then you got the path that leads to the fort that we were just working on. Here's the Swampy Bog part. Here is the fortress. Here is the path down. Here is the barricade that they've built to enclose the tunnel where they're dropping undead in. Here is the breach in the tunnel they haven't found out about yet that leads through this hole here to point 3 where undead are amassing, at which point they will just start sauntering over here and slaughtering everybody that's in the camp over here. 600 feet down this tunnel, see there's a 300-foot skip space. And it leads, there's water that's pouring in from this swamp. It's draining down this hole. It's running downhill to where it starts to, here it's about ankle deep. Here it's waist deep. Here it's chest deep. And here you have to basically swim. And this is a bunker, a bulkhead door that, like a portcullis, but it's just like a solid, it's just a solid frame door, bulk that drops into place, and it has a shorted out. It's underwater, so it's shorted out, but you can potentially get some thieves picks in there to pick it open and get it to open. But if you do, it just dumps all that water into the underground lab. So this is a horrible place for you to go. But there's also a grate on the top of here that if you're able to get like a druid, for instance, could turn into a mouse, or you could use gaseous form and go up through the grate to get to the control panel to lift the portcullis to make the door open, which then again floods the interior of the environment. But there's multiple ways to get into this underground facility. The topside entrance that the path leads to, or down this tunnel through the grating up the window, and they'll open the grating occasionally and drop another body in there. So it has just piles of undead that are animating slowly because of the effects of Mabar. So that's what we're dealing with here, and that's what we're going to work on some text with here right now. Soldiers path. Fleeing soldiers will try to head to the topside entrance. And you go to the patrols detailed above. The fleeing soldiers will try to head to the topside entrance. See, it's approximately 600 feet to the fort path. Travel between locations foreboding and claustrophobic. There's a 1 in 4 chance that 1d4 plus 2 guards traveling between the fort and topside entrance, 50% from either direction. Identical direction. See details about the patrols above. Head to, try to, will, 2 soldiers will, bring reinforcements if the characters reinforcements if combat occurs. There. I think I want to switch these. Yeah, I think I want to switch these. Grab this. There. And then three, four, five, six. Nice. Is that where it starts? Here, then here, then here, and here. Yeah, that's where it starts. This is where the 600 feet starts. So, how much is this? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 10, 15, 20, 25, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25, 50, 75, 100. 1, 2, 3. That's 200 feet there. That's 150 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. Seems a little bit more intense than the rest of the environment. So I think I need to back this thing off a bit. Yeah, that feels better. Hey man, how you doing? Right on. Yeah, so far so good. Yeah. And we got this pathway here that we are building off of here. So we got these multiple pathways that we're going to have. That's going to lead to the top side lab entrance here, and then this hole or this stairway will lead you to the underground passages that we'll also be building here as well. And you got the encampment here protecting this area that patrols this from here to here to here, down this pathway to this fortress where there is another camp here, and between the two that. And then there's an underground passage here that you can go down this ladder to that's been barricaded off. And you can take this passage here, down here, to this bulkhead bunker door that also opens up to the same passageway further down in. Yeah, man, Eberron's fun. I've been actually running an Eberron campaign. Ooh, boy, it's 7:55. I got to bounce in a few minutes. But, yeah, I've been running an Eberron. Like Eberron's has been my primary home world for campaigns since like 2006 ish. I love Eberron. I mean, my Eberron is a space opera campaign, but this is a published adventure, so I won't be able to do my Eberron space opera until Spelljammer comes out, and I see how they resolve the rules for that. But once they do. All my nations in Eberron are floating asteroids that use Spelljammer ships to get back and forth, and like the Carnathi military has all these giant drop ships full of undead that they just rain down on people, and they have like giant death skulls on the front of their ships. So and like Droam and Dargoon have been working together to build their own fleet of spider and scorpion ships so that they can start standing up to Thrain and on there. It's fun. I am super looking forward to Planejammer or Spellscape or whatever it is that they end up doing with it. But my Spelljammer is in astral space, so you can fly to the different planes via spaceship, and so Hell has their own star drives and stuff like that too. So yeah, it's pretty fun. It's all, I try to connect all of it. When I build a campaign, I typically run campaigns from level 1 to 20, and I'll take either 1 or 2 years to run through them. And before I know what the campaign is, I do a session 0 to find out what the players like want to do. Like, do they want to? What kind of adventure do they want? What kind of characters do they want? What do they want the themes to be around? What's their risk level going to be? Is it going to be a deeper character dive, or is it going to be more of like a heist sort of thing? And what limitations do we want to put on it? And once I have the parameters of what kind of an adventure they want, then I decide where in the multiverse the campaign's going to sit, who the opposing forces are, so they know from what plane to plane they're going to jump through. Like the current campaign is a Groundhog Day. Whenever you die, you reset back to the beginning of the day, and they're trying to stop the world from ending because Dalcor is basically co-terminating with the world, and the nightmares are coming true for people. So they got to stop that. But that's not much of a Star Jam system. It's all contained inside of a 50-mile area that they can't get out of. So it's a different type of space. Yeah, you can build, when you build the campaign around the characters, like if you specifically build the world and the narrative of the world around the characters and the players' wishes, then there's a lot more buy-in from them, because like this was custom built to their requests. Like, I built this thing so that you could have the game you said that you wanted. So let's check in every 5 levels to make sure it's still the game that you want, and then alter it from there. And based on the feedback that they give me, I'll start introducing different types of enemies or creating new scenarios that are connecting with the flavor that they want, to make sure that they're willing to stick it through. So I think we're at 15th level right now. I think it's the 4th campaign that I've ran in 5th edition from level 1 to 20, and then prior to that I was running epic level campaigns in Planescape, and like Eberron to Planescape to Dark Sun, hopping those three IP campaign settings, like at level 22 to level 27, and those are Gestalt games. So they would run an adventure, like they'd have like the same adventure, like the same characters in the adventure for like maybe 3 months, and then they'd swap out their characters to do something different. So we got all over the place with that, but every time we would rebuild the thing. So it's like, whatever you guys are doing, that's what we want to have be the center of attention. So then we just shift the focus and the angle of the campaign to align with whatever it is that they're doing at the time. But I am damn near out of time. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. So I have unfortunately hit my wall. So yeah, it is. It's when you build a table. I mean, there's always going to be attrition, but when you find a crew that really that you jive with, then that's just a way to keep them locked in. So anyway, I hate to have to go, but I really do. So saving that, shutting that down, and then I gotta go pay my pound of flesh to the man for the day. So I do a morning jam every week, not every week, pretty much every day, for like about an hour and a half, and this is my cutoff point. So I come in, I do maps, and then I use the maps, and then I integrate in the text that goes along with it. Like you can see the fort here, like I have point 2, and I just swapped out the map. So I have to update the map, and I have that pathway that leads out of here, and you can see that I got the different points about where those go, like the moat, and then you got the path to the topside entrance that we were just looking at, and then I'll come through and I have to finish out 4 and 5, flesh this stuff out and update it. So that's what we do. This is an 8th level adventure. It'll be on DMsGuild. I'm playtesting it right now, but it'll be on DMsGuild this year. So and then this will be part of a bigger project that I'm working on. So hey, Splinter, thanks for swinging by, man. I really appreciate you. Cheers. Catch you later, and catch all y'all later. Bye.